We are about to do live streaming. We're going to look at a few charts. Let me just get myself set up so I can see what you're... All right. It looks like it's live. Give us a chat room. All right. So, people are starting to file in for our live stream this afternoon. We'll take a look at some charts and see where the market's going. Hello. We will start analysis shortly. All righty. So let's see where we're at. Hey, Mr. Chapman, nice to see you. Hello, everybody else. All right, I see people are starting to show up. This is good. This way we can mess around a little bit. Of course, it's interesting the way markets just flip and turn each day. You've got to be so quick with your entries and exits. This morning we were blessed. We got short, dropped 30, 40 points. We got out. You know, we were done for the day. But it's interesting just how bearish it looked, right? Coming into today and then big bullish day. Crazy. Markets are absolutely on steroids. But as long as we trade it properly, right? That's all that really matters to us. YouTube's frozen. Is YouTube frozen for other people? Because I actually see my YouTube moving. Trend reactions telling me YouTube's frozen. Is that true? Does anybody know? If YouTube's frozen, let me know. It will pause. Now, could be me. There could be bad internet here. It's difficult sometimes. So let's see how many of you have joined, and then if there's enough of you, we'll get started. A little bit longer. All right, so Iori 666, to see the live charts, make sure that you view the YouTube presentation. And of course, to chat with me, either of those two chat rooms that you're looking at right now are viable. All right, so let's start taking a look. Is everybody ready? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, traders from across the globe. Thank you for tuning in to our basically daily live stream. I try to be in my live trading room every day. I try to do live streaming just about every day as well. So hello from Norway. Hello from Las Vegas. I know what this is all about. So in the background, I've got a few. I don't know what we'll see until we look at them, but we'll look at them together. All right, so this one we have been looking at for weeks on end now. This is the weekly E-mini S&P daily bar, basically the stock market. And, I've been cautioning us since we got here that Wall Street absolutely keeps a close eye on this average. And you've heard me say in many videos, what's normally happened around this average is when you get near it, it just holds and goes back up, right? Even close to it. The next time in the future after, excuse me, let me get rid of that. There's no need for that at the moment. It's just telling me we're making new highs. So, right here, we just about hit it. Big explosion. Actually hit it. Big explosion. We are looking at the E-mini S&P weekly bar chart and the 200 bar moving average. Hits it again. Big explosion. Gets to it during COVID. big explosion after holding, right? It went through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks underneath, and then it just took off. Well, here we've never really went under it. I mean, the weekly bar went under, but only for a day, and then came right back up and settled higher. So you've got the first touch, we get there, and you've got 1, 2, 3 weeks of holding thus far. That's a lot of holding. So Wall Street is paying attention, and lo and behold, we're getting quite the rally in our daily today. So with that in mind, I'm going to go look at the daily. And that E-mini S&P, that just keeps getting above and below this average. What you'll note is that the average works very, very well. Market cracks, hits the average. Market cracks, gets near it, not enough, still cracks. Hits the average, market cracks, hit the average, drops the very next day. Actually, same day, hits the average and goes all the way down here. Next day, opens up, goes higher. Then we have 2 days up. 1 green, 2 green in a bear market. And we drop the next day. And if you take today away, the active bar, we were back below. Look at that. We're back below the average. But today takes place. Add the bar back in. And what do you do with something like this? Well, now you have to look at this and say, well. This is a bull flag building. That's what that is. Isn't that interesting? Things morph. You know, we're day traders. Things morph all the time from one thing into the next. This is morphing into some kind of a bull flag. Look. There's your pole, there's your flag. So interesting how you add 1 day to what's going on and the landscape starts to change. So now we're above the average in some form of a bull flag, if you ask me. Let's make that flag pole a little thicker. So, and if it helps, we can get rid of this average for now, just to get it out of our view. So now we're looking at the possibility, and I think it's a strong one because the market's acting that way, of this being a bull flag building. All right, is what it is. We'll trade it that way if that's what it wants to be. We were blessed today. We were short. The market dropped. We got out on the low drop and sidestepped. And so far it's been going back up. But that's okay because the OMNI did their job early today, and now we're observers. But observing this bar, turning this into a flag is interesting, right? I think so anyway. So maybe that's what we're getting down all the way around every time you get near it, right? Trouble, trouble, trouble. Well, now you're above it. And the possibility that this will be conceived as a bear flag, or perceived, I should say, as a bear flag. Excuse me, bull flag. Why am I saying bear flag? We've been in the bearish market for so long, I've got bear stuck in my head. But that is a bull flag, if I've ever seen one. Now, things change, right? And you could either put another bar inside the flag Monday, or you can break out of the flag Monday, or we can find out it wasn't a flag at all and you end up down here. But we'll run the OMNI Sunday night, and the OMNI will tell us whether we should buy or sell, and the rest will just happen the way it happens. So that's what I was looking at, and I think Wall Street, as I mentioned on Sunday night before this week began, to keep your eyes peeled on this. And it's a weekly, and we wouldn't know until the end of the week when the bar is finalized. Well, the bar has populated. The day is not over. Anything can happen in the last 45 minutes, as we know. But for now, this is moving higher. On the daily, it's moving higher, as we just looked at, which was here. And buying is coming in, kids. And that's what day trading is all about, right? You get 1 day up, 1 day down. Your system has to be wise enough to recognize it, which this week, OMNI did a great job for us. It didn't put us in the market every day, but professionals don't trade every day. They trade when their setups come. So the OMNI had lots of setups all week. Some were filled, some weren't. The ones that were filled, we had a good week. The ones that weren't, they were actually good calls, but no fills, and that's the way the cookie crumbles when you're a day trader. So let's see, is there anything else that came to mind? I don't know. What's sitting on this chart? Oh, yeah. So one of the things that happened today and this is chart 4, was that all the boats are rising. Look, everything on this board practically is green. Dollar is red. Bonds are red. This is coffee and sugar, whatever. But when you're looking at most of these markets, S&P, Nasdaq, Russell, YM, Dow, Tranny, the 6E, 6B, the 6J, there's other ones. They're just, all of it is green, right? Look at all the green on this board. Because the dollar is red. That's what's going on right now. It's floating all other boats. So, just thought I would show that to you cats because it's Friday and it looks to me like they are going to try to run this thing straight up for the rest of the day. Now, does it make sense that the market's going up? Well, there's a thing about that. What makes sense? The market, rule number 1, the market's always right. Rule number 2, if the market appears wrong to you, please go revisit rule number 1. So it's right, it's going up. If you're short, you're wrong, not the market. Okay, does it make sense fundamentally? Does it make sense at all? No, but it's going up, so up is up, and up is right today. Yeah, what happens if inflation stays up and dollar down? We're in big trouble in this country. We will absolutely feel it worse than probably worse than the 70s because the dollar is so high right now. And if the dollar drops, it's got such a long way to go, it would create inflation without inflation. So if the dollar drops, it will add to what we consider inflation. Anyway, that's my take on it. NVIDIA. Somebody asked me to look at NVIDIA. I think we did that the other day, but I'll go take a look at that, Street Jeans. Let's see what NVIDIA looks like. We'll use this chart. At your peak. Well, let's just do some simple work on NVIDIA. The simplest form of analysis that we can find is just connect the highs, right? That's simple enough. And we'll see what that looks like. All right, so we know, obviously, it's heading down. No surprise there. And this rally, it's not really this. The trend line is actually this with a little chop through. I think we're looking more like this. And that's your channel. So every now and then in NVIDIA, from what you can see just by doing simple analysis, and that's a daily, right? Doing simple analysis on NVIDIA, you see it's in a channel right now. And the interesting thing about this channel, let's make that a little tighter. Interesting thing about this channel is not much happens. Look, not much happens when you get to the top of it, even if you get out a little bit. Same thing at the bottom. Look at this. Barring that, you just stay in the channel. You just got to it yesterday. Today, it's trying to retest it. So I guess my advice to you would be, if it doesn't get out of the channel, you can be short again. If it does, some upside comes our way, right? So, yeah, let the channel decide. Let the channel tell you what to do in NVIDIA, would be my opinion. Being that it's speaking already, you just got to listen. So Terry Nass says, if the dollar drops, we're in for a world of hurt. Buy lots of beans, as it will be a cold, cold winter. We don't want to see that dollar drop. We need the Fed to just keep talking about raising rates. Shut up and keep raising rates for now, Fed. We got to wait until inflation comes down so that the dollar can come down without destroying us. So they're kind of in a spot where they don't really have a choice. Looking at it from 41 years of watching, you can't hear. Can anybody hear? Can anybody hear me at the moment? I'm understanding that you cannot hear. That's On Point saying he can't hear. Dano on YouTube, can you hear me? Turn up your volume, On Point. On Point, you had an issue on Friday as well, and the day before. You're not allowed to keep bringing up your issues anymore, buddy. You keep making me think it's me. All right, very good. So obviously everybody can hear me. All right. So what else do we have? Gold has, oh, did you see what gold did? Boy, we were smart to trade it yesterday and then stay away today. Look what gold did. I think I have gold here. Yeah. So check this out. Gold was so nice to us all week. If you wanted to trade it and stay in each day, it kind of dropped right to the lows almost every day. Stayed inside of this channel, which I showed you in my presentation yesterday. But look what else it did. Very interesting how widely watched gold really is. Check this out. Just about, well, it did do it. It hit the double bottom. Forget the channel now. Hit the double bottom, rallied all the way up and popped out of the channel. How about that, huh? Double bottoms were, that double bottom was watched by everybody. It's one of the reasons why I didn't consider us getting short again today. So that double bottom kicked in and pulled gold outside of that bear channel. Now, how long will that last? Dollar going down, it'll continue. If the dollar stops going down, gold goes up again. Well, excuse me. If the dollar stops going down, gold doesn't have a chance to go up again. In other words, it's been teeter-totter with the dollar. Well, if you get dollars doing this, gold's doing that. But if the dollars do this, gold gets to do that, right? So you've got technical and fundamental reasons why gold is very interesting at this level. And I think that was the last thing of interest that caught my attention. So I wanted to show these things to you. Tony says he can hear me even in Portugal. That's funny, Tony. Thank you. It's amazing how the internet allows this, right? All right, so what I hope to do, because this week we did a lot of setting up and there was some extracurricular activities going on, but what I will hope to do is every day, sometime towards the afternoon till the end of the day, we'll sit here and do these live streams. And we'll go over charts and make sure that we're all sort of in tune with what should happen the next day, or at least that evening into the next day. What am I seeing in commodities going into the winter? You have to recognize that this is so dollar related. Right now, if the dollar just stays on its course, you can use your charts to figure out grains, right? All is fair. If the dollar continues to drop like it did today, you don't need charts to figure out where commodities are going. Through the roof. Through the roof. We will have commodity inflation here like that. MRK. Nyan would like to know, what are my thoughts on MRK? I don't know. Let's go find out. I don't know what my thoughts would be on that stuff. Can't say I've looked at it in a long time. Sure would be nice to be in the shipping business today, huh? That's Merck, right? Yes. I used to do bills of lading for this company a million years ago. Wow, look at that, kids. So what does this tell you? One, this is easy enough. Simple, simple. Let's just keep it simple here. We'll call this whole thing 2. Let's just call it 2 instead of 3. Three taps, the small pullback, the breakout. This is going. It's already starting to break out. So we'll call that right about here. We'll make that the tops. Really, this is your spot, but we'll just try to use the top of here. And that looks like a breakout to me, kids. I mean, this is some kind of triple top. It's either here, or you can call it here and here, or here, here, and here, but that's enough taps up there to want the door to open. So I would think, and what was this, MRK? I would think this is going to go. Yeah, it's MRK. I would think Maersk is going to go, baby. Up, up, up. So even if you get a pullback, which I think already happened, this looks like it's going to go. That'd be my opinion. You know, I'm not big on buying anything at the moment, right? Markets have been coming down, with the exception of this afternoon. But at the same time, if you are a buyer, that looks like it's going to have more upside, whether it goes directly up today, tomorrow, or hovers around and then continues higher. That looks pretty strong. You know, now as a day trader, my opinion can change the moment a chart puts in another bar. It's the nature of a day trader. But what I see right there, that looks pretty good. All right, I see the markets are still rallying. Oh yeah, new highs, Russ. Nasdaq made a new high a few minutes ago. New high transportation average. S&P obviously made a new high. And that dollar getting slammed. So, anybody have any plans for the weekend? I've got 2 shows to see tonight. One Christmas show with a friend of mine's band that's performing the music behind it, and then we go to see our engineer. Plus, my daughter's one of my daughter's music instructors is in a fantastic band. We're going to see him after that. Copper being low on supply. Haven't really heard that. Come to Portugal, huh? Copper in low supply. You know that would be in the chart if that were true. Doesn't look like a chart in short supply. Not on the daily nor the weekly. I don't know. I'll let that rumor show up on the chart first before I worry about it. Another, you can see it with the naked eye. Another channel sitting right here. Boom, boom, stuck in the channel. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'd worry about this being in short supply with a chart that looks like this. Doesn't look very short supply. But anything's possible, sir. Keep your eye on the supply-demand stuff. The supply-demand data will help you with that. Oh, you're getting quotes to rewire your house, huh? Yeah, that's right. You started that. I'm going to be getting quotes on the painting for outside the front. The fence needs to be redone. Some cement needs to be redone. Is this Japan since morning, or hopes that EU to increase rates next week? I'm not understanding what you're saying, Tom Page. No problem, Street. I appreciate you being here and hanging out with me while I do my afternoon wrap up, if you will. At some point, I'm just probably going to turn this into my live trading room. I'm slowly warming up to being live streaming. Again, I can't advertise, I can't play music. I can't have TV on in the background because of the ads and the television. Music gets me, I mention it every day, but that gets me, copyrighted. So I'm not streaming as much as I am online in my trading room. Of course, I stream a little bit. I'm going to try to warm up to it and get more used to streaming more hours a day every day. If you find it helpful, of course, would be more of a reason for me to continue on. You think the Japanese intervened with the yen today? The yen? Let me take a look at that. The yen has been so slow, it's off to the right of my board. I have to decrease the font size to see it. Yen, huh? Oh, yeah. Somebody did something. Look at that bar compared to the rest of them. Look. One of these things is not like the other. One of these things just doesn't belong. Look at that sickness. But looks like they intervened here too, right? And it didn't do them any good. See this? What happened after that? More of this. Now you have another one of those bars. Likelihood, more of this. Like here, more of this. I wouldn't be too happy on that yen right now. Let me just label it in case you're watching. Yeah. That's not what we want to see. That. And this. So, would inflation shoot if China opens up from COVID lockdown? I think that would help inflation, right? Inflation had basically started because of a supply issue. So China opening up would help supply, gets tightened. Even if the demand didn't increase, the price has to go up for that tightened supply. The price starts going up. But if suddenly there's more of that supply, demand hasn't increased, the price will go down. So yes, I think it would be helpful. It's interesting that China is still in lockdown. Why are they in lockdown? It's just a way to manage their people, you know what I'm saying? Lockdown is good. Lockdown is good. We get to manage them. Because they're a country just like the rest of the countries of the world, and none of us are in lockdown. What are my thoughts about the move in stocks today? Don't fall in love with the upside. Holding SQQQ over the weekend. I'd be quick to get out on Monday, but I think you'll be okay. You saw reports are going to open up Macau, huh? It wouldn't hurt at all for China to open up. Anything China mentioning that they're opening kind of means supply comes out, right? More supply is good right now, not bad. But this whole inflation thing literally will stop. I promise you. They did the right thing right away. They raised those rates. You don't see it happening right away. But the reason why they raised rates was so that down the road, it has its effect. And again, I make this analogy all the time. Take a pristine lake. A pristine lake. Pristine, beautiful, no waves, crystal clear. Drop a rock in the middle of that pristine lake. It's going to make a wake. And that wake is going to start coming towards the shore. When you drop the rock in that lake, the splash happens around the rock, but the wake doesn't make it to the shore for quite some time. When they raise rates, it's like dropping a rock. The wake has to work its way to the shoreline. And that's why what the Fed does takes time to trickle through the economy. That's an analogy. That's not why. It's an analogy of what goes on. Well, that's the first thing I showed, Peter. If you look here, Peter mentions the 200 bar moving average. That's the first chart I showed everybody. It's the first thing I mentioned in the beginning of the week. It is a weekly bar, not a daily bar. You don't know what's going to transpire until the week ends and the bar gets put in place. So far, if you ask me, do or die for 3 weeks in a row, they might explode this thing. Because it's just sitting at the 200 bar moving average and not failing. So they might explode this thing. I'll wait for my OMNI signal Sunday night, and whatever it says to do, I'll do. The beauty of me trading OMNI is it's every day it's a new signal. I don't care what it did yesterday. Market closes at 5 p.m. I get a new signal for the next trading session, which is 6 p.m. So I don't hold any opinions past the day when it comes to day trading. In fact, we made money this morning being short the market when it was going down this morning, and then we backed off. I'll bet you OMNI will make money or try to make money being long the market on Monday. That's why I love being a day trader. I don't have to stand there and say, well, we have unequivocal analysis pointing to the downside. Then the market goes up for 2 days. Well, you're not allowed to change your opinion because you're giving a longer term view. My opinion is only for the moment you hear it from me until the close at 5 p.m. that day. Then my opinion has to change because I have to redo my analysis. So 9. Does OMNI work on weekly charts or daily ones? It works on weekly charts as well. Here's the thing. Do you have the patience to use a weekly chart? That weekly bar I showed you guys on Monday was one bar. Do you know how much drama took place between Monday and today on that weekly bar? It was under it. It was above it. No one knew what it was going to do. It was in question. It's been 1 week. How long can the average trader that has a day trader's mind deal with a weekly chart? You know what I mean? You got 5 full days to get one bar out of it. So it works on a weekly. Do you? That's the problem. Do we as humans? No, not really. Not day traders. Weekly is information we don't need. The weekly is too much information for us day traders. Ah, boy. So it's kind of an interesting world when I'm looking at the camera and not at the quotes, because I always have all the quotes right there where right now you can see what I'm doing. So I don't have the quotes in front of me. I have them all the way over here. It's driving me nuts. They're not in front of my eyes. Still rallying, huh? Oh, nice smart rally in there today. It's a great signal for an up Friday, and if there's any validity to the news that some Fed governors are yapping before they should about the possibility of less aggressively raising rates, our target will get hit this year, I promise you. If they talk about not raising rates or even slowing down on raising rates, our target of 52 will come right back into play. Now don't forget that target of 5,200 in the S&P. We gave out that target or created that target when the S&P was at 3,200. We called for 5,200 by the end of this year, 2022. We got to 4,800 and change. You know that, right? From 32 all the way to 4,800 and change. 52 would have been right there. Well, we didn't quite get there, but maybe the call should. Maybe my analysis was incorrect, and the call was for 48, and we've seen it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's what happened there. I don't know. But I do know that if the Fed stops raising rates or hints towards not raising rates, we'll see 48 again like that. $48.18 was the all-time high. Thank you for putting the price in. So, that's pretty good from 3,200. If you guys want to look at that, just imagine this chart. Look. Let's do the SPY even. It should be a clean chart. Could we go back that far? So right around here is when, of course, I already had my projections done. Was that 32? I'm sorry, it was 37. I lied. It was 37. My bad, kids. I thought it was 32. I gave this out at 37, right around here somewhere. So we were in this area, the beginning of the year, and I gave out the projection for 48. So being that we were here, right around here, we'll call it, right? Jan, Feb, March, we'll call this area my projection. It's usually done and finished right around here, to be honest. So, but we'll just call it 37. So from 37, it went all the way to 48. It's at 47 now. 47.93, there it is. So this was when I gave out the call, and this is how high it went. Not bad, to be honest. That's pretty damn good. Let's get rid of this crazy average. That was a nice call for the year, huh, kids? Jesus, look at that. Now, the actual call would have been here. It would have gone to here. Had it gone up to here, we would have made my call for the year. 52. That would have made my call for the year. So considering how far it did go, that's not bad. Maybe this should have been the call, you know what I mean? Maybe I missed my mark with 52. So we shall see, but there is plenty of time to get back up here. Now, if you think about it, August, September, and half of October, we went from 43 to 35, right? So it's 800 points. You can easily do another 800 points and get yourselves all the way back up here somewhere for the end of the year. It's possible. Not that I'm calling for a bull market, but that is possible. That's the first year-end call that wasn't right to the target. I mean, we've had year-end calls where the market went right to my spot and then just went the other way. 15 years in a row. Ask anybody following me. Well, that's not true. 14 years. One year we had a flat year where the market didn't go up or down for the year. It came in, rallied, dropped, settled at the end of the year about the same price it came in, so nobody's year-end call worked, unless you called for unchange. But barring that, Omni's had it right for 14 out of 15 years. I am not going to do anything but wait for the end of the year and see what happens. What about oil? I think oil is going to be political. I mean, technically, oil is oil, right? We know we drew that up 2 days ago when we did a live stream like this. But oil is going to go political. In other words, if Republicans win, you got to think the price of oil is going to go lower. Just the mindset behind them that they're going to want to try to release more oil. So I think it's going to go political because you got an election coming. We have so much oil. We could fix this problem so easily. This is so wrong. I mean, it is just so wrong for us to have this cartel in the United States, being the worst member of the cartel, to hold back on oil. The whole world needs it right now, so it would tame inflation. And we hold back on it. You know, I kid you not, I mentioned this before. It's like a triangle, this cartel, right? You got OPEC up here, you got Putin over here, and you got our president of the United States over here. And we are the absolute worst of the three because we have the most amount of oil, the easiest capability of getting out, and we hold back the most of any of the three. We are the worst of the cartel, us. It's horrible. It's so bad what we're doing to this world. We have the answer to help inflation, to help the whole world out by creating a lot more gas, fuel, crude, everything needed to just bring the prices down, get things under control, and slowly move towards electric cars. This push to let's get it done like that and let's tie up our oil and the rest of the world has to starve. I apologize to you, the rest of the world. I don't know why our president's doing this. I wouldn't do this to you. So it's political if you ask me. Oil is right now in the hands of if they were smart, they would do everything in their power in the next 4 weeks to get the price of oil to dump, so the price of gas dumps, and one side can cheer and go vote for us. Look what we did. But if they don't do that, I don't know. Europe is and you know why Europe's a mess, Tony? Because we're not supplying you guys with enough oil. It's a catastrophe because Putin wants to put pressure on the rest of the world. Our president thinks it's a good idea. I mean, wow. Whether he says those words or not, his actions proves that he thinks it's a good idea. So I'm not trying to get down on my president. I'm saying that we are the worst of the cartel. We are the worst member in the cartel, the United States. When it comes to releasing oil, we are so stingy with it. It's so wrong. It's just so wrong. You know how exciting of a politician our president would be, no matter who the president is at this standing moment, if he would just go, we've got a fix to help save the world financially. Yes, it'll push us back a little bit on climate change, but we don't have a choice because we are alive today as well. We're going to release a lot of oil to try to tame this oil crisis that we're having around the globe. There's a war right now. One of the big suppliers isn't going to supply. Guess what? We're going to supply so much that the price of oil will be so cheap, everybody's pocket will feel better. We have a president that could say that right now if he wanted to. But he's not saying those words. And again, this is not about whoever the president is. It doesn't matter to me. That's just a figurehead in the White House. For this conversation, it's about the president of the United States, ours. Our president is holding back on the world. Doesn't matter who he is. It's we're doing it as a country. Because if you're not from the United States, you don't blame the president. It's this lousy country that's not sending the oil out. Not the president's fault, right? So it's really us. I apologize to you guys. This is just terrible. Now, I don't think the average American would agree to let the rest of the world have such turmoil over this. But we're not the ones who can pull the trigger, kids. And I don't even know if our votes matter. So let's not even go there. You know what I mean? I don't know how we can help you guys. I don't know how to help you, Europe. I am not in any power to do such. I would, I promise. There was a day where writing to your congressman actually got you somewhere. Try that today. It'll get you an answer, but it won't get you anywhere. Anyway, markets are showing us that it doesn't matter what's going on in the world and what we talk about. They got strong today, right? Something smart happened. Doesn't matter what our conjecture is. And the beauty of what I do as far as an analyst and the one who leads all of my Omniacs around the world through these live trades, I don't interfere with this signal at all. If Omni says up, we are buyers. Omni says down, we are sellers. Oscar's opinion means nothing. And believe me, I know better. Me, I'm about as stupid of a human as the rest of us when it comes to an opinion, because it can only be either right or wrong, right? You can either be right, or very, very wrong, but there's not much in between with opinions. You're either right or wrong. We don't need that in our trading. A 50-50, I would never trade on a 50-50. That's dangerous. We need something that is accountable on most occasions, and Omni is accountable. My stupid thoughts, they wouldn't be accountable for anything. But thank God I don't interfere. We'll do whatever Omni says on Sunday night. Because we can talk till we're blue in the face about what this might mean and what that might mean, but Omni's got no personality. It's got no feelings. It doesn't have car payments, right? Doesn't owe that BMW payment each month. It doesn't owe a mortgage. It hasn't been divorced, so it doesn't pay for that nonsense. It doesn't have emotions. We do, which is why I rely on the Omni and not what I think. Seems though oil bottom should be 67. The White House say they plan to restock strategic petroleum at 67 to 72. The price of crude should be in the 30s, the 40s maybe. And that's about it. It shouldn't be where it is now. It's a catastrophe it's this high. 6 minutes till the stock market closes, huh? And then the futures trader, us crazy futures traders, have one more hour to go berserk, and that's it for the weekend. So, what happens in the last hour, especially the last 15 minutes, as we're seeing, balance them by delta neutral shorting a little bit, so there's almost no real exposure over the weekend. That's why you kind of always get some weird move right around now, right before the close. In fact, it's coming down from what I can see. Right, let me look at my quotes. It looks like it's coming down a little bit. Sure is. All right, anything else going on, kids? Because we are out of here in a few moments. It's finally Friday. Long weeks for me. I spend a good 20 hours a day doing this. So by Friday, get a little punch drunk. Weeks get long. Uh-huh. I thought that was my cameras with the dogs running around there. That's why I didn't acknowledge it. All right, so hey, traders, don't forget, if you're having difficulty navigating through these markets, I offer you guys trading signals direct right to you. It's a very simple process. The trades come at you through a Discord channel, right? If I'm sending a trade, you get the flash updates right here. Plus, they come at you in a flash update, which is one of these crazy things. They show up here on the website. You get flash updates, which are pop-ups like this. So if you guys need recommendations, let me know. I will help you out. You get something that looks like this, makes noise, blah, blah, blah. So if you're having trouble, this is what I do. Let me know. Come to the site, grab the Platinum membership, and I'll be sure to help you guys. Have a great weekend. I've got some Omni campers I need to speak to over the weekend. We'll possibly finalize their plans on coming out. If anybody would like to join my Omni camp, make sure you go to omnibootcamp.com and, fill out your apps. Barring that, kids, have a great weekend. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate your company. And I will tell you, stops are in, emotions are out. Kids, keep that in mind. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I will see you on Sunday night in my live trading room. And Monday, we'll do some more live streaming together.